Well, Mohammed Hanif اتمر is Afghanistan's acting foreign minister. He joins me live now from Kabul. Mr. اتمر, good to see you. First of all, I'd like to begin by asking you, what will break this deadlock so that peace talks can actually begin?
Thank you. It's actually flexibility and realization on the part of the Taliban that the government of Afghanistan has already delivered on its promise. We have released more than 5,000 people that were apparently promised to the Taliban, and we are committed to release more if the Taliban also release the Afghan prisoners with them. I believe all of us and our international partners are negotiating with the Taliban and with other regional partners, and we are pretty much optimistic that we will reach a consensus and a solution.
The Australian government, as well as the French government, has expressed outrage and anger over these releases. They say some of these prisoners are incredibly dangerous. What do you say to them?
Well, they are all dangerous. They have been dangerous to Afghans, and they've been dangerous to regional and international security. That's why they were in prison. But it's important now that for the sake of peace that we find a solution. We reach consensus that is on a solution that is acceptable to all parties involved.
Under the deal, the Taliban agreed to break with al-Qaeda. Have they?
Well, the reports issued by the United Nations Security Council and by some other international bodies, they do not support that claim of the Taliban as yet. I mean, the whole idea of this peace negotiation with the Taliban is that we reach two goals. One, peace between the Taliban and the Afghan government, a lasting peace on a foundation of the Islamic Republic of Afghanistan, and second, to make sure that all ties to al-Qaeda and other regional and international terrorist groups are severed. Now,
do you
the Taliban
believe
will
that they
have
will
to
do that?
Well, they will have to. This is the challenge both for us and for the international community. We need to make sure. Otherwise, there won't be a peace deal. They will have to deliver on that obligation.
Americans have committed to go and leave Afghanistan, and that was part of the February 29 deal. And that's not dependent on any peace deal that the Afghan government comes up with the Taliban. So all US forces will be out by mid next year. If Americans withdraw completely, what do you think will happen?
Well, first of all, this is not how we read that agreement or what we have been told about. In fact, it is all conditions-based. It's not that the Americans will leave whether there is a peace agreement or not. Second, it's about the future of Afghanistan. It's the Afghan people, the Afghan government, and also in partnership with our regional partners. We will have to come collectively together for a lasting solution. The stakes are high for all of us. It's not just for the Afghans. Mind you, one fact that security and stability in Afghanistan is not just serving the Afghans, it's actually serving regional and international security and stability. That's why it's important for everybody to be part of the solution.
What are you saying to American partners as foreign minister, as Americans go into an election? If there is a new president, do you hope that they will stick with the current deal with the Taliban, or will you urge them to reevaluate?
Well, the starting point is that it's our common security. It's the security of the Afghan people, the region, and by extension, the global community. That's why we have the United States, NATO, and many of the over 40 nations involved in this endeavor, because it's a security of all of them. So if it is a common interest of all, then it is a shared responsibility, and it will have to be dealt with that way. No matter what administration is in place, I am absolutely confident that the American security will be their number one priority, and that security is essentially linked to what is happening in this region. That's why we have a long-term security agreement between Afghanistan and the United States, Afghanistan and NATO.
We're currently seeing the targeted killing of civil society figures and leaders in Afghanistan. Who do you think is behind these attacks?
Well, whoever they are terrorists. They are killing innocent people. They are part of the terrorist network that fight the Afghan people and the Afghan state. Now, it's quite common.
Some are saying these are Taliban figures. It's a Taliban campaign that's going after the very people they're supposed to be negotiating with.
Well, for some of these incidents, the Taliban have not actually dismissed responsibility, if you like. So they have kept quiet about it. Now, whether they are directly involved or not, it is their responsibility if they do not reduce violence in the country as they promised. I mean, the release of the over 5,000 prisoners was premised on the fact that there will be a reduction in violence. Now, if the Taliban have not done their part, clearly this is their responsibility, and they will have to explain it not only to the Afghan people but to the international community.
Mr. اتمر, are you really satisfied with the level of security in the current country at the moment?
Well, actually, no Afghan is. No, we are not. That's why we are pursuing the peace goals, that nobody is satisfied with the security situation in the country. It's not to belittle the contributions that the Afghan National Security Forces are making every day and making ultimate sacrifices in defense of the Afghan people and also for the security of the region and the global community.
I mean, this is the situation with the Americans there. What is likely to happen once the US pulls out?
Well, first of all, the Afghan National Security Forces are doing much of the fighting, and much of the security responsibility is on their shoulder anyway. The support that the American forces are giving them is close air support and logistics and training. We are hoping that the withdrawal of troops will be conditions-based, number one, linked to progress on the peace process, and second, commensurate with the capacity building of the Afghan National Security Forces so that they can do the job entirely independently.
What do you say to the women, to people in civil society who are worried that their gains are going to be thrown under the bus once these negotiations begin?
Well, the number one promise that the Afghan leadership, the Afghan president, the Afghan state, and the recent lawyer Jirga have made to Afghan women and Afghan citizens that we will not make a compromise on human rights, women's rights, and our democratic values, which are the basis, the foundation for our Islamic Republic.
Mr. اتمر, always good to talk to you. Thank you very much for joining us here on the programme.
Thank you, Yaldajan.